Today we're doing a review of the Airback Flex. In this video, I'm gonna take my experience of reviewing 500 plus of the world's best bags, and we're gonna tear this thing apart. We're gonna pack it out. I'm gonna test its true capacity, give you my brutally honest pros and cons, and you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because if you're not quite sold that this is the travel bag for you, I'll make some alternative bag suggestions. Because here at Nomads Nation, our goal is just to help you find the best bag for your needs. Let's talk about the gist of the Airback Flex. First up, it should be noted that this is a partnership video. And what that means is that Airback paid a fee to Nomads Nation to pick their published date. But that is the only thing in this video that will be influenced. As you see throughout this review, I will be brutally honest about the things that I think are awesome and the things that I think suck. Because if you haven't heard of Airback, like, they are blowing up right now. And the reason they're blowing up is they're offering really innovative products and bags that are offering solutions in the travel world that some people think are genius and other people think are kind of like BS. So let me run you through some of the top features of this bag. Most notably is the size, as to where it's personal item size that should fit on most airlines, like underneath the seat in front of you. And we'll test out those dimensions to see if that's true in just a second. We got a quick access front pocket, very weatherproof fabrics, 2 compression straps on either side. Got the ability to expand. But without a doubt, the 2 most interesting things about this bag are, 1, it comes with Airback's signature vacuum compression system. It's a little loud. Therefore, in theory, allowing you to, compress the main compartment and pack more stuff. And thing number 2 is the fact that it's a suitcase that can sort of transform into a backpack. And I say sort of transform because it can actually totally transform, but you're getting a lot of compromises with that. And we're gonna double click into what those compromises are. 2 to 3 sections from now. Now we're shooting this before their Kickstarter actually launches, and they didn't specify how many liters this bag is. Good thing here at Nomads Nation, we always double check these things. Now you see you got the main compartment fully packed out. Unexpanded. Let's check the dimensions. We got a height with the wheels of just like 16 inches. We've got a width of just under 13 inches and a non-expanded depth of around 8-ish inches, which is giving us a capacity of 5, 10, around 15 liters in the main compartment, which I think that you could probably say is maybe around 18 to 20, because this is gonna be a really complicated bag. It depends on like how well you pack it and what you put on either side of the divider and how well you can compress whatever's in this section that we'll talk about 2 chapters from now. Okay, now let's take a look at the capacity and the dimensions when the bag is fully expanded. All right. Fully packed out with expansion. We're looking at a depth of around 10 inches. And then for the capacity, 5, 10, 15, we got about 5 extra liters by unexpanding the bag. So that's a lot of numbers, and you might be asking yourself at this point, like, what does all of this mean? Well, what it means is with those specs, the dimensions and the capacity, is that if you don't mind all of the cons of this bag, this is gonna be a really great under the seat bag. And that's what it's been designed for. And it's awesome because in this day and age where like airlines are forcing you to check bags and they're losing bags, one bag travel is getting harder and harder. So the ability to have a bag that fits underneath the seat in front of you for every airline is freaking awesome. But the thing is, this is not gonna fit underneath the seat in front of you for every airline. In the States, I think you'll be good to go, but on some of the more strict European budget airlines, it's gonna vary. And for Asia, where I live, I'm based in Hong Kong, it again will vary, but you're probably not gonna make it because of how heavy this bag is, which, let's weigh it right now. We are coming in at 6.8 pounds on scale number 1. And again, 6.8 pounds on scale number 2, which for a backpack is astonishingly heavy. But for a suitcase, it's actually very normal. And this is where we're gonna sort of break this bag into 2 and talk about, is it a better suitcase? Is it a better backpack? Because it can't do both great. Any bag that's sort of a 2-in-1 has to make compromises, and I'll talk about that in a bit more detail 2 chapters from now. As of recording, the Airback Flex only comes in one color option. This is the Flex when it's empty, and here it is fully packed out and worn on the Nomadization team. Margaret's 5'2", and I'm 5'8". And don't worry, we're gonna pack out the bag throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits, especially with the star of the show, our vacuum guide. I didn't forget about this. I got a lot to say about you. All Airback products come with a 3-year warranty and a 100-day return policy, but that can vary when it comes to Kickstarter orders, so definitely double check the details of where you bought this bag. And for all that, it's running around 179 euros on Kickstarter and will be 329 euros when it's fully launched on the Airback website. And speaking of Kickstarter, if you're watching this like within a week of us publishing it, it means that the Airback Kickstarter is still live. And if you're not sure about like what Kickstarter is, it's just a crowdsourcing platform where people like me and you who really like a product and believe in that product can pay upfront, kind of like a pre-order, and then you get your product a little bit later, but at a discount. And Kickstarter and backpacks, it's a match made in heaven. If you're in this backpack niche or this weird carry community that I'm part of, or we're just obsessed with bags, so many of the bags that we review and support here have started and therefore like sort of been born on Kickstarter. Kickstarter certainly comes with its risks. There's never a guarantee that you'll actually get your reward, but most of the time, especially with more reputable companies like Airback, you're basically good to go. And if you really like the product, it's a great way to get it at a really good discount. I personally backed a bunch of Kickstarters and I actually ran my own. But no matter if you're buying this on Kickstarter or the Airback website, we highly suggest making your purchase using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes, especially for Airback. But that link also helps to support the Nomadization YouTube channel and team, so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. Let's start by talking about the outside of the Airback Flex. Starting with these fabrics. This material is very rubbery, yet soft to the touch, not sticky, and it's got a matte finish. And I'm not sure exactly what fabric it is, but it's gonna be really weatherproof. But one thing to keep in mind with fabrics like this is, it has some sort of finish on it. In the industry, we call it a face. And sometimes these faces can peel over time. There's no way to know for sure. I'd maybe do a little bit of research about Airback, long-term reviews. Because if this is like a polyurethane coating and it gets a lot of exposure to sunlight and humidity, your bag could look like this after a few years. Airback's branding right here, not too loud. But let's talk about security, as we do have a TSA lock, of which you can connect the zippers for the main compartment. This can offer a little bit of extra peace of mind. Keep in mind, like, it's not a vault. All you need to open one of these zippers is a pen, so any thief who knows what he's doing can get into your bag without that. But if this is just more about airport security and being TSA compliant, this lock is a good way to accomplish that. Top handle, not my favorite, and the reason being, well, I like the way that it looks. It's very flush. We're using like it's a plastic material, and it's nice and like I said, flush against the bag. It's not super like loud or kind of gross looking, but because of that, it's got a little bit of a harsher feel to it. It's not very soft. So if you find yourself carrying the bag with this top handle, due to the weight and just the way that the handle is constructed, it's not the most comfortable. And like, I'm a smaller dude, 5'8", and you can see my hand, it fits in there, but there's not like a ton of room to grab. Overall, it's an average top handle. Now, remember I mentioned on either side we have compression straps, which is an interesting choice for this backpack suitcase hybrid. Well, it's not an interesting choice for a backpack. Like, we see compression straps on backpacks all the time because backpacks are very soft, and the compression straps then allow you to cinch the sides down. So then if you are on a little bit more of a strict airline, Ryanair, I'm looking at you, then hopefully you can decrease the depth of the bag, therefore making it more likely that it'll fit into the bin. But keep in mind, I think compression straps like these work a lot better with backpacks, like I said, because they're soft on all sides. Versus this bag, it's soft on the front, but it's hard on the back. So we're not getting double compression, you're just getting 1/2 compression, which, as you can see, it's getting the job done. It's pushing it in, but maybe not as effectively as you might be used to with compression straps on more traditional style travel backpacks. Now let's rant about backpack versus suitcase mode, because I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I have a very strong belief that any product that is designed to do two things never does either of those things exceptionally well. And that's because there's always compromises that have to be made. So for instance, like a backpack that's just made to be the world's best backpack is gonna be comfortable and lightweight and all these amazing things. And a suitcase that's meant to be a suitcase is gonna have the right handle length and like it's just gonna be a great suitcase. But when you try and fuse these two products into one, there's just gonna be a lot of things that kind of have to be compromised in the process. In my opinion, this is a much better suitcase than it is a backpack. And even as a suitcase, it's not perfect. But with a backpack, you know, it's solid, dude. It's heavy. It's almost 7 pounds. I mean, some backpacks that we review here are like 2 pounds. So you're almost at like 4x the weight. And that's one thing that needs to be kept in mind is like, this bag is not gonna work for Asia. Remember I talked about I live in Hong Kong earlier. Here in Asia, they're really weighing bags, like viciously. I just took a trip to Japan like a week and a half ago and like a really nice airline too, weighed my bag, checked it. So weight is really a big issue with this pack, especially when it comes to comfort and when it comes to airline compliance. But Airback did something cool as to where these wheels are concealable. That's where you can take this flap right there and stow it here, therefore covering the wheels when you wear it in backpack mode. It's not the cleanest way to do it. Like, you know, you just got this flap sort of chilling here, connected with this Velcro. But again, I think if we accept what this product is, a suitcase first and a backpack way down the line, a little bit further down that way, then it makes sense because you're gonna be carrying this thing in suitcase mode most of the time. And then you just wanna carry it in backpack mode when you need it, right? And I think it's like, you know, when you're about to actually like get onto the airplane, right? You don't wanna like drag the suitcase behind you. That's the worst, it's catching on everything. You just pop it into backpack mode, right? Or when you're visiting Italy and you're walking down those cobblestone streets of Rome, like suitcase mode is tough on cobblestone. That's when you just say, ah, crap, I'm in Italy. This isn't gonna work. You pop it into backpack mode. And then, you know, that's when it's nice. But if you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I found my backpack, I would say do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Do not look at this as your travel backpack. Suitcase first, backpack second. But having said that, again, we do have the wheel cover, which makes it more comfortable to wear. And we have some well-padded shoulder straps. The width of these shoulder straps, I think, is right about where you'd want it to be. Yeah, 3 inches, that's great. And you know, wider shoulder straps do create more comfort. But I will say, I'm fascinated that Airback is sticking with this foam. We've been reviewing their products for, I don't know, over a year now, and they have this foam on their other bags, and it's a very controversial foam. You're either gonna love this or, like me, not like it. And I don't like it because it just feels a little bit busy, and it just feels a little bit more, I don't know, harder in terms of surface level because a lot of like these bumps just kind of hitting your collarbone, but some people actually quite love it because they think that it creates a more, I don't know, kind of massagey experience when being worn. So there's no doubt that it's padded. The question is whether or not this is going to work for your body or not. Sternum strap we have right here for a little extra comfort. Sternum strap also has a whistle in case you want to start an impromptu musical session on the airplane. I'm sure the other passengers would love that. But then let's say, you know, you want to use this bag for what it's intended to be, a suitcase. To do that, we go ahead and stow away the shoulder straps, unvelcro this from the bottom. Then you can see we are now in suitcase mode. And to access the handle, unzip right here. And it's a little bit of a challenge for me. There you go, we got it. We have the handle, which is a little short, at least I think. Let's see if my suspicions are correct from testing this the past few days. We've got a handle length of around, we'll call it 18 inches, but compared to like a carry-on suitcase handle, this one by Air, you know what, we're only at 19 inches, but it feels small for 2 reasons. 1, the handle itself is in fact an inch shorter, but also 2, it's a shorter bag, or should I say suitcase. Remember, we're only dealing with a height of, you know, 17 inches max, versus your typical carry-on has a height of, I don't know, 23 inches. So because of that, when I was dragging this thing around the neighborhood of Lai Chi Kok here in Hong Kong, it just felt very short. And I'm a smaller dude, I'm 5'8". So like, I don't know if being taller or shorter makes it worse or better. But this is one of the beautiful things about this bag is like, I do like how focused it is. It's like, dude, we're focusing on these specific dimensions to be a specific type of bag, but then it's gonna come with compromises, like I keep saying, across the board. Wheels though, I found to be pretty nice. They seem extremely durable. They glided pretty well. They're not like name brand wheels from Hinomoto or any of the better brands that I've seen for wheels, but more or less they feel like they're gonna get the job done. We've tested other Airback suitcases before and the wheels seem like they're fine. And best of all is they should be covered under Airback's 3-year warranty. Final note on the outside is at the bottom. We've got this hard shell case, which gives you a little handle here, making it easier to grab the bag, pull it out of the bin overhead. And that base also helps the suitcase better self-stand. Now, before we jump into the next section, which is the most important section, because we're gonna talk about our little vacuum friend over there. But before we do, I wanna let you know, if you're really enjoying this breakdown of the Airback Flex, then you might be a little bit of a carry nerd. Maybe you love bags and gear, and if that's the case, I wanna, again, welcome you to Nomads Nation. But also I wanna tell you about the Nomads Nation newsletter. Because in that newsletter, you can kind of look at like these YouTube reviews as level 1, but the newsletter is like level 3 of like gear nerdery. So if you love carry, EDC, and travel, and you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this incredible community, you're going to want to sign up to the Nomads Nation newsletter, because I'm bringing direct to your inbox, you know, the newest information about what's happening with the newest drops, industry trends, limited edition collabs, plus access to our discount codes and giveaways. We spent a lot of time on the newsletter. I'm really, really proud of it. I hope to see you in your inbox. You can sign up by finding this globe emoji in the description below. Let's talk about the inside of the Airback Flex backpack. Starting with the front zipper here. And this again, like kind of shows where this bag is a suitcase more than it is a backpack. Because a backpack, you know, would have this front pocket here, but it might be a little bit more spacious. Then it'll have some side pockets and a top pocket. You know, backpacks just work really well when it comes to quick access. But this is the only real quick access pocket this bag has, which makes sense. Like, you're not gonna be wearing this beefy ass thing and swinging it over and like quickly grabbing things. It's a suitcase, people. Suitcase with a couple of straps on it. We got a storm cover here in case it does rain. Nothing in this pocket will get wet. And it's a little guy. It's just this size. So not too big. For me, it's just where you're gonna wanna put your wallet, your keys, just a few smaller things that you want quicker access to. Glad that Airback also used a lighter lining. Just kind of helps to create a bit of a highlight effect in the bag, which makes it easier to find what you put where. But one thing I don't like is that Airback is not using any name brand zippers, which at this price point is a tough pill to swallow. Getting into the main compartment, we have clamshell style opening and a bit of organization over here, a central divider, and then the vacuum system. We're gonna end with the vacuum system. First, for the compartments over here, great spots for a hoodie, or also could be for a smaller pair of shoes. Actually, let's test the shoes because this is in fact an odor resistant compartment. So you can see my size 9 Nikes. Yeah, fitting in there. If you travel with an extra pair of shoes on your trip, they'll fit there. And at this top pocket could be a good spot for your toiletry stuff or just a smaller pouch in general. This is the Evergoods Cap 5. Just using that to showcase the volume in this pocket. Just where you can fit something a little bit bulkier as well. Now the central divider, let's see what size laptop you fit. Laptop compartment is in the middle. We've got a bit of a microfiber material in there. It's a cheaper one. It's not the best I've seen at this price point. 16-inch MacBook Pro, not gonna fit. Now keep in mind, this is the size of the bag, right? The MacBook Pro is just too large as to where to fit the specifications needed to be underneath the seat in front of you. MacBook Pro of a 16-inch, it was never gonna happen. But my 13-inch MacBook Pro slides in very nicely, zips on up, and this is a nice safe location. I actually like it when bags do this. The packed travel backpack also has like this floating divider where the laptop fits, and it just means it's gonna be protected on either side of the bag. Gets a little bit of elevation, a little bit of extra padding. Overall, nice execution here. Only issue is it's gonna be a little bit harder to grab your laptop mid-flight. But that aside, I think pretty well designed from Airback. Now let's talk about the vacuum system, and I got some really good news. We criticized this vacuum system before because if it broke, it would render your backpack unusable, right? There's one little hole. But now, as you can see, Airback has made these completely zip-offable. New word, zip-offable. You can be zipped off, which is great because if by some accident you do poke a hole in your vacuum sealed bag, you can just grab another one. Now we tested this system out in a previous video, and I think that It does work. I don't think it's as effective as Airback's advertising might lead you to believe. Sometimes you're like, whoa, a pile of clothes this high in the bag like that. That's a little, say, audacious maybe. But we did, in our testing, confidently say that this gave you about 20% extra packing space. Like, it definitely works. And if you want to see what that test looked like, we've gone ahead and linked the video above. But you can see I just threw a packing cube in here. Let me just give you an idea of what this sounds like and how it works. But a really important thing you need to know for how it works is this is not included unless you buy like a certain bundle. And the new version has a light in case it's dark wherever you are and you want to, compress the bag and it's too dark to see. Now you can do it. Margaret, close your eyes and close your ears, Margaret. It's about to get loud in here. And you can see right there what it does for a single packing cube. This packing cube has about a week's worth of clothes in there, which, let's be honest guys, if you're traveling with this bag, you're probably just trying to one bag only with this bag. So you're gonna be packing light. So that packing cube that I just put in there with a week's worth of clothes should be more than enough. I can last on a packing cube like that indefinitely. And you can see, we compressed it down. I stick by what I said. You're gonna get about 15, 20, 25% of compression with this system. And then finally, if you do want to pack 5 liters additional worth of stuff, you do have the expansion zipper right here. My expansion zipper's been getting caught a lot. It's kind of very catchy. So hopefully it's just because I have like an early sample. But again, we do get that 5 liters of extra space. You can see that space is actually coming now on this side of the bag. If you want to add, a couple more packing cubes in there and a hoodie, all should now fit. But this is where you got to be careful. This is where in expanded mode, is it still a-okay with your airline's travel specifications? Because we just went a lot thicker. The thickness increased. Overall, it's a large conversation and it depends greatly on what airlines you fly and also like the mood of the flight attendant that day. Maybe they're checking, maybe they're not. Let's wrap this up by talking about the overall pros and the cons of the Airback Flex. Pro number 1, I think that focus, just like that specifications of like what this bag is, suitcase underneath the seat in front of you, not a lot of bags like that on the market. Pro number 2 is the fact that it is in fact a suitcase that can transform into a backpack. Again, not a lot of bags can do that. And pro number 3, the vacuum compression system does work. Maybe not as well as we wish that it would work, but 20%, that goes a long way, especially if you're trying to, beat the airlines at their own game. But on the flip side, all bags have cons. This certainly has some of its own. Con number 1, at the price point, I wish that there was better materials and fabrics and warranty. Con number 2 is even though it is a suitcase, it's still on the heavy side. We're seeing this be about as heavy as you would see like a larger suitcase. So you're not really saving much in regards to weight. And con number 3 is when you're carrying it in suitcase mode, the top handle and just the overall size of the suitcase do feel a little short. But if you're still watching this, like, I see the value in this. Like, I see who's looking for this. I think of my mom, she flies from the northeast of the US down to the south of the US 3 or 4 times a year. She flies on a budget airline. She does not want to pay for a checked bag. It's got to fit underneath the seat in front of her, and she doesn't want to carry a backpack. Like, this is a really unique offering, like that I haven't seen a lot of other bags really position themselves in, especially when you add, a couple interesting other features in there with the compression straps and with the vacuum system. So, if that's you, then this could be a really interesting buy. And if that's the case and you're thinking about making a purchase or you want to find out more information, we do suggest doing so with the first link in the description below. Reason being that link makes sure you get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, which we usually have for Airback, that's what they'll be. But if you're still here, there's a good chance that you're not quite sold and you want to hear those alternatives that I teased earlier in the video. Here we go. First up, if you are new to the channel, I highly suggest watching our Nomads Nation leaderboard video. This is where me and the rest of the Nomads Nation team, we get together and we pick our favorite bags in different bag categories. It should be noted, we don't talk about suitcases in this particular video, but we talk about travel bags, EDC bags, slings, just kind of everything so you can see what the best options are on the market. I've gone ahead and linked that above. But if you think we're close with the Airback Flex, but not close enough, here's 2 specific alternatives that might better suit your needs. First up is gonna be same brand, Airback, but instead of the Flex, it's gonna be the Max. This is a great pick for you if you're not really looking for that underneath the seat bag, and instead you want something that can be a carry-on. because you need more space. And my second recommendation is going to be the Bagsmart Blast Roller Backpack. Great pick for you if, again, you don't mind going a little bit bigger, but you're on a bit more of a budget. Airback is coming in at a higher price point, Bagsmart always more accessible, and they make really good gear for how much they charge. Honestly, all three bags have their own pros and cons. You just gotta figure out which ones work best for you. And to learn more about the two alternatives, you can go ahead and watch these videos right here. If you got any questions about any bags, be sure to let us know in the comments below or in the Nomads Nation subreddit. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.